Okay, wonderful. The meeting is being recorded. First up, we have a passionate Toastmaster for over 21 years. She believes that learning never stops. Please put your hands together for distinguished Toastmaster Usha Udayshankar. Can we have her on the spotlight, please? And next up, we have another passionate Toastmaster, a software engineer by profession and a keen Toastmaster who has held several district and club leadership roles. He loves conversations over coffee. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Suhas Ananthanarayanan. Can we have him on spotlight, please? Ladies and gentlemen, when it's contest season, we just can't keep calm, right? The sheer adrenaline of being at a contest, the thrill of the moments just before the winners are announced, and the roller coaster wave of emotions after the results, no matter what the results. It's a powerful drug, I tell you. And when it's the international speech contest, the stakes are even higher. I'm sure that every Toastmaster has dreamed of being on that exalted global stage at least once in their lifetime. Today, we have someone who's been there and done that. The second place winner of the World Championship of Public Speaking 2023, a two-time finalist at the World Championship of Public Speaking, and a three-time semi-finalist. An eloquent speaker, obviously. She is also a public speaking coach and the founder of SpeechEasy, an AI-powered speech enhancement app. Her achievements alone would fill the entire time slot that we have today. And yet, she's one of the most humble and down-to-earth human beings. Please give a huge round of applause to our chief guest for the day, distinguished Toastmaster Nisha Shivram. It was Francis Bacon, the philosopher, who had said, "A prudent question is one half of wisdom," and to ask the prudent questions that will glean the most inspiring insights from us. Let me now hand over to our two hosts for the day.
Thank you, Tanvi. Are you able to hear me now? Thank you. Tanvi, thank you so much for those beautiful words of introduction. And good morning to you, Nisha. Nice to see you this morning. Well, let's just jump into the questions today. I know you made a mention the other day that please don't share the questions with me. I'd love it to be impromptu. So here we are. Suhas and I have collated a few questions from our viewers today, whoever has joined here today, whoever has shared any questions with us. We've put them all together, and here my first question to you. How many of you watched Nisha's 2023 second place winning speech, Swipe? Just a raise of hands. I think we even shared the link with everyone with the registration link. So Nisha, let me just dive into my first question for you. What inspired you to choose this title? Because it's not a very captivating title if you say Swipe. But what made you choose that title? And also, what were the challenges you faced in crafting and refining this speech? Over to you, Nisha.
Good morning, everyone. And today I'm again glad to be here. I have been here a couple of times before, but this time is different. I'm not doing an educational module, and I love this interaction with everybody. So now coming back to DTM Usha's question, number one, why swipe? So let me be very honest with you. Until my district contest, the speech title was not swipe. It was I have the card. And it was my coach, the world champion Lance Miller's idea that Nisha, we have to keep a title that is short and that would create some curiosity in the audience and also convey the entire message of the speech. So, in just one word, the message would be clear by the end of the speech. So, we sat through and we realized that one word swipe is coming again and again and again in the speech. So that's when he said, okay, let's keep this as the speech title. So it was his idea. And that worked because, people remember at least the speech title. Okay. So that is one thing. And the challenges in crafting the speech, crafting a speech is always a challenge. I'm a public speaking coach, and contestants come to me like, 1 week before, or let's say 2 weeks before their contest, and say that I have written this speech. Can you please modify it, look into it, and see? It's not like that. Speech crafting itself takes a lot of time. And if you ask me, once my world championship contest got over in 2022 in Nashville, I had the story ready with me. And soon after I came back, I started writing the speech. So how many times have I met my mentor here and then Lance Miller online? So many times, every single time after club contest, we would sit together and work on it, whatever feedback I have received. So every level, what I do is I distribute a bunch of questionnaire to all the people sitting there, get their feedback, and see how many people are giving the same feedback. So when it comes to feedback, you have to be very careful. You cannot take all the feedback. Otherwise, it will become their speech. So we have to make sure that there are more than 5, 6 people telling the same thing. And then we work on that. So somebody said, okay, Nisha, humor is lacking. Okay, so where can I have humor in this speech? Now, you cannot add humor. Humor should automatically come out of that particular story. So we looked for areas where we felt that, okay, here some humor is there. I may add some words that would enhance that humor. Some people said, Nisha, you are going too fast. So in that way, we collected the feedback at every single level and, kept on working on that speech. So it is speech crafting is it's a time consuming process, and you have to give time to the speech. And it's not just the story. The most difficult part is the conclusion, because in a contest, especially in a contest when you have 8 to 10 contestants on the stage, it's a huge responsibility on the judges to pick one winner who is outstanding, and it happens only with the conclusion. As somebody had said, that people may forget the introduction, they may forget the story, but they will always and always remember how you concluded. So you have to be different, you have to be unique, and you have to have something in your speech that people would take away and remember. So these are the challenges I faced, and I think that I was able to craft a good speech. Yeah.
Okay, a small interruption. You said story. Was it your story? Was it an original story?
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. People have asked me this question so many times that, is it a real story, or do you always use real stories in your speeches? I always do. So when I was traveling to Nashville, this happened because it was my very first time to the US. And there was a lady with me named Feli, uh, who was traveling with me. It was her first time also. But at that time, when I was interacting with her, I did not know that this will turn into a story. But after I came back, she had sent me a message on Facebook, okay, that she has reached, and her boss is now okay, and she's on a special diet and all. And that's when I thought, okay, why not this story? Let me just try and convert this into a speech. So this is an original story. All my stories are real original story. Though as a coach, I always tell my students that if you do not have a personal experience, you can make it up, but it should sound real and convincing. There is no harm in that. But when it comes to me, I always pick stories that it's actually happened with me. So yeah, it is original. Feli is there. She is right now in Doha. She is in touch with me. At times she sends messages. So she is here. Yeah.
Yeah. And as you walked onto that stage for your finals,
Yeah.
you cleared the semi-finals and you walked onto the stage for the finals of World Championship of Public Speaking. How did you handle your stage fright and nerves before you walked, before your name was called out, contestant number so and so, Toastmaster Nisha? That walk from the aisle to the stage.
Um, Honestly, I'm more scared here at the district level because we we have really good speakers. We have tough competition. It's not that we don't have there, but here, since I know each one of them, I know their strengths. Okay, I know somebody is very good at handling humor, somebody is very good at body language, somebody is very good at speech crafting. So I know their strengths. Now I have to play accordingly. There, I have no idea. I don't know anybody. So I'm not focused on, them. So we are actually, I think everybody over there, all the 7, 8 contestants, we are actually stress free. We all gel along with each other. We all, have gala of time. So I was not in stress because I don't know what these people are coming up with, what their strengths are, and how they are going to do with it. Moreover, in 2023, I was pretty confident about the speech. So I was happy, I was confident, and I was not at all nervous on that stage. And one thing that I have noticed at the World Championship is that people are so welcoming. Here what happens is when you crack a joke and you wait for them to laugh, nobody is laughing.
Correct.
And there you say anything, people start laughing. So that actually gives you more energy and motivation to do well. So there was nothing, there was no fear or no nervousness, no stage fright, nothing like that.
You answered many people's questions here today based on stage fright and nerves. So, all those who are here today, if they've had anything like that,
Yeah.
I hope you all heard Nisha. Over to you, Suhas. Let's see what Suhas has for you now.
Yeah. Hi, Nisha. Good morning.
Good
So,
morning.
yeah. So when Tanvi was giving her introduction, I couldn't, be inspired. You have reached the WCPS semi-finals 3 times, the finals twice. In fact, I saw your status yesterday. You have already won the area level contest at the ISC Table Topics and Evaluation. So
Yeah.
congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And there is a question that it has also been asked by Toastmaster Santosh and Toastmaster Pankaja. So after so many podium finishes at the WCPS level, at the district level, what keeps you driven again and again to keep on contesting every year on?
Yeah. When I went for the World Championship for the first time in as a finalist and I came back, somebody asked me that, are you going to compete again? I said yes. So he said, why? It's done. You were there on the stage and it's done. I said, that was not my goal. That is not my goal. And so I would compete again. So the next year, when I won the second place and came back, so there was a felicitation ceremony, and somebody asked me, now, Nisha, you have won the second place. Okay, so I think you should take take a step back and give other people an opportunity to compete and win. I said, sir, second place was not my goal. My goal is to win the world championship title. And it's not because it's not my arrogance or my stubbornness, but I just want to see if it is possible for me or not. Because there was a time when people used to say that, oh, an Indian woman, we don't think that, Nisha, you can do it because, we have never seen an Indian going up there and winning the title. But then Manoj Vasudevan happened, right?
Yeah.
And then Muhammad, somebody said that, oh, Middle East, we don't think anybody would win from Middle East. Then Muhammad Khatani happened. So when I said, if these people can do it, I can also do it. Right. So I was just testing myself to see if it is possible or not. So when I won the second place, I realized that it is actually possible. I just have to push a little harder, work a little harder, and one day I would reach there. Now, the question is, I may take another 10 years. I don't know. It's all about timing, right? If your time is good, it will happen. So I may take another 10 years. Probably I would compete with my own son tomorrow. But I would keep on going until I get that glass trophy because I want to see if it is possible for me or not. And that keeps me going. So once in the World Championship itself, I think in the finals in 2022, this question was asked to me that, why do you compete? There are people who would always say that we compete just to participate. Participation is more important. But when it comes to competition, winning is more important. Everybody wants to win. And that's why you see all these second place, third place winners coming back again and again and again and again just to win the title. So let us be very honest with ourselves. We all want to win. And I said that I compete to win because it's a competition. Off the stage, you all are my friends. I would help you with everything that I know. But on the stage, I'm your competitor. I will make sure that I do, better than you to just to win. So that is what I'm just challenging myself to see whether it's possible for me or not, and that keeps me going.
Wow. So I know in the audience there are quite a few people who have maybe not reached that is the international stage yet. And I'm definitely sure that this is going to be an inspiration that never give up and keep coming back again and again until you reach the big prize. So thank you for that answer, Nisha. And back to you, DT Musha.
I love the way you answered Suhasa's questions based on, I'm your competitor, I may be your friend outside. But whenever you are struggling to find content for your speech, what fuels you? This is a question from Distinguished Toastmaster Sushil. He asks, what fuels you? What to keep you active and motivated when you're struggling to find content? And another question from Distinguished Toastmaster Pankaja is, what practices or routines have been key to your consistent growth? What is it that you follow regularly?
Okay. Let me answer the first question. Struggling to find a topic. It was back in 2011 till I think 2018. There was always a struggle to find an appropriate topic. Okay. And let me be honest, during that period, that 7 to 8 years, I had no idea how to find a topic that would fit the audience, which everybody would love. So every time I tried to find something, it was something huge because I thought it's international, it's global. I have to find something that is huge. But then it took me 8 years to realize that beauty lies in simplicity. You can pick a simple topic, tell us, share a simple story with us, but yes, at the end, the message should be something that is people should say, oh wow, okay, that's huge. Okay, so it's not just the topic, it's the message that you are trying to give should be huge. So now after those 8 years of struggle, now I do not find it that difficult to find a topic because I look around and I see what simple thing that I can pick and turn it into a big message. And that is how in 2022 I gave a speech on my washing machine. That one fine day my washing machine started making this odd noise. So I went to my husband and said that, look, that it is making some noise. So my husband was like, as long as it is working, don't worry about that noise. Okay. So I said, okay, fine. But one fine day that noise stopped. And when I went and checked, the washing machine was not working. It completely stopped. So we called the technician. He said, ma'am, your washing machine is stopped working because of the overload. So if you had called me earlier, I would have fixed it. But now I can't do anything. You have to buy a new one. So I bought a new one. And that is when I realized that just like that washing machine, we all human beings, we make noise because of emotional overload. And if we keep ignoring those noises, one day we would be silent. There won't be any more noise. So it is very important that we listen to the noises around us. So that was the message that came out. In the same way, in the swipe story, it was just a story. Somebody came at the airport and asked for help. But then we sat, I sat with my mentor to see how we can convert that into a bigger message using the card as a metaphor. We all have that card with us. So this is my suggestion to everybody here, that don't think of big topics. Just look around and see how I can pick something simple from my daily life and convert that into a bigger message. Now, as a Toastmaster, we should actually start practicing to, looking at every moment of our life as a speech. So when something happens, you come back home, you think about it and see, okay, so how can I convert this into a speech for my next project? And there you will have a topic. And everything is around you, in your kids, in your office. There are ample number of topics around you, but you just have to sit, think, and look at it as a speech. So that's what I do these days. Now, for my routine, um, there is there isn't such routine as such, but what I have started doing after, I think after losing many times at the district previously, that I started learning about public speaking seriously. So I read books on voice modulation, stage usage, body language. So, and that is why today I can guide a lot of people. Unfortunately, now with pathways, people do not get an opportunity to learn a lot. But back in our days, we had proper manuals, proper projects where we learned everything: how to write humorous speeches, how to write entertaining speeches, how to even introduce
Yes.
somebody. Okay. And because of that, those 40 manuals, I think 40 manuals, 40
Yes.
projects were there. I did not complete the entire stuff, but all the manuals are there with me. So every time there is a contest, there is a project, I go through those stuff. It's very, very important. And I even pass on the PDF copies to other. I don't know whether they are using it or not, but it's very, very useful. Now, I have an advantage. People often say that, okay, every time the same person is winning, because we learned. Because we learned. And it's not just that. I have gone to coaches. I had Mark Brown as my coach. I had Lance Miller as my coach. I had Edward Hearn. He actually passed away. He was my coach. So from each coach, I have learned something: how to use my voice, how to look at the audience and make an eye contact, how to use the stage. So learning is one thing that has never stopped. And that is why you can see this consistency, because people are not ready to learn. One thing. Second thing is, they are not ready to take the feedback. Their ego gets hurt. Don't take me wrong, I was there once. Okay, so it's the same case. But then I realized that unless and until you keep your ego aside and take the feedback with a positive mind, maybe inside you would be thinking that, oh, who is he or who is she to give me feedback? Okay, keep a smile, take the feedback, come back home, think about it. If it works for you, okay, incorporate it. If it does not, leave it. But please take feedback from people. So these are the two things that I do consistently, shamelessly, I would say. Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful for a person who's reached that level and still so humble and grounded. I think your basics, the foundations of Toastmasters, it's right inside us, all of us. We've all gone through these manuals and evaluation sheets, and also I think that was a very, very beautiful aspect of Toastmastering. I think most of us seniors sitting here have gone through that, and uh, I think I still miss that that part of Toastmastering. Thank you so much, Nisha, for saying that. Suhas, I'm sure you're ready with your next question. Over to you, Suhas.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Usha, DTM Usha. So Nisha, I really loved the way you talked about one thing in the one of the previous questions was how the conclusion matters the most. That's the last thing that the audience remembers, and it's very important to keep it crisp and strong. So there is a question from DTM Sandesh, and his question was, what are some effective strategies of finishing on a high and closing a speech so that it becomes a winning speech?
Okay. When it comes to strategy, see, there is a process of writing conclusion itself. Okay. Always remember, conclusion is the portion where you actually get an opportunity to connect with the audience. And this is a myth that we use personal stories to connect with the audience. Very rarely it would happen that people would actually connect or relate with your story. I'll give you an example. If you take my swipe speech, how many of you have actually met somebody at the airport who has asked for your card? Maybe one or two. So, not everybody can relate with that particular story. How many of you have actually gone for cycling or swimming like Jocelyn? I'm not a triathlete, so I cannot connect with what she said, the story. Okay, so just keep this out of your mind that we use personal stories to connect with the audience. No, we use personal stories to engage them, to make our speech interesting. Okay, because people love stories. Conclusion is the part where you have to actually connect with the audience with the message. So you may not connect with my airport story, but you will definitely connect with the message that says that help each other, because we have resources within ourselves to help each one of us. Right? You will connect with that message. So the process here is, the question here is, how can I connect with the audience? So there are two ways in connecting. Either you ask a question to the audience at the end, or you give a statement where you are forcing your audience to think. See, public speaking is actually a thought shattering process. We have to make our audience think, and we have to deliberately do it. Okay, so when I say that I helped Feli, now I'm coming to the conclusion, and I have to look at somebody and say that, have you ever helped someone? A simple question. Or do you remember someone who helped you when you were in need? A simple question. So these are the ways you have to connect with the audience, and this is very, very important. That is when your audience will wake up, because now you are looking at them and forcing them to think. Okay, so you have to pick areas from their life, probably some experience from their workplace, some experience from their relationship, some experience from their general life, where they can go back and think, yes, I had a maid who actually helped me when I needed, or I had a teacher who actually helped me, when I was in school. So 3 statements or 3 questions to connect, and then you have to come and elaborate your message in a way that there should be an aha moment. People should feel, wow, I never thought about it. Okay, so when I say that we all have card issued by the Bank of Humanity, now that was like, oh, wow. Right, so you have to come up with something that gives that, that bulb moment to the audience. And at the end, you do not have to have a very high tempo ending. You can even end just with a simple pause or a question, or just by doing an action and just leave them thinking. See, the winner is the one who would leave the audience thinking, not inspired or motivated. Thinking. People should think about it. And when your audience think, you will win.
Wow.
And that is the strategy in the conclusion, because other time they are just enjoying your story, they are just laughing and crying with you, but conclusion is something where you have to make them think, and that is what your strategy should be.
Wow. So would you recommend adding humor at the conclusion, or just the emotional aspect in your message?
It's not just about humor and emotion. The question here is, humor at the end of the speech will, especially in the international speech contest, will make the speech message ineffective. You can end it not even in an emotional way, but something for the audience to think. That is what I'm saying. Even if you're ending with a humorous quote or a humorous sentence or a humorous question, There should be something for them to think. That should be your whole point. And I do not suggest taking a humorous thing in the international speech contest. Humor you can use in the story or probably in the introduction, but when it comes to conclusion, make sure that you are giving something for them to. They should go back home after the convention, and it should be there in their mind all the time.
Wow. Thank you, Nisha. I mean, that aha moment is something that I think I struggle with personally. And I have seen that in most of the people who have been winners, champions, they always have something that is the aha moment that you have mentioned right now.
Yeah.
So thank you for that insightful answer. And DTM Usha, I think you have your next question.
Oh, yes. I like the way you said, the strategies that you use to convey your thoughts to your audience and that aha moment, the conclusion. Now, distinguished Toastmaster Mukta has a very beautiful question along with another question from another Toastmaster. Mukta asks you, Nisha, what is more important, message or delivery?
Thank you for asking that question. Yeah. And the second question?
The second question is, how can we come up with unique ideas or messages to share with the audience? This is from Toastmaster Sanjay.
Okay. So let me answer Muktaji's question. Especially in international speech contest, though they say content carries 50 marks,
Yeah.
it's always the delivery that picks the best winner. My experience, and of all these years, if you just go back and look at all the world championship speeches, you will see the one who delivered the best or delivered in a unique way has been the winner, whether it is Mohammad Katani with his cigarette smoking thing, or whether it is Persian Vasilev, I think, with the car repairing thing, or whether it is Jocelyn for that matter, that energy and movement and everything. It's the one who delivers in a unique and the best way. So message is important, but it also important is that how you present it. Now, let me tell you that you will never find a unique topic. I'm coming to Toastmaster Sanjay's question also. I'm just combining everything. So you will never find a unique topic. Okay, you can never find a unique topic. If you have 8 contestants, probably 5 of them will have same topic. People talking about challenges, people talking about fear, helping each other, everything. But how you present it matters. So it's like putting the old wine in a new bottle. So now how unique your bottle is, that's what matters. The presentation. Okay. Now my story is not a very unique story. It's about somebody who came and asked for help, and somebody, I helped. That's it. But we tried to put it, using card as a metaphor. If you go back to my washing machine story, it's the same thing. Pay attention to your family members, love, care. It's the same thing. But then we used washing machine to convey that message. Okay, so it's not the topic. You can never get a unique topic. You can never say, you know what, this year I have got a brilliant topic. No, sir. It's the way you are going to present it. So delivery or presentation matters a lot. Even if you have an average content, and those who have attended the World Championship, they know people come with average content, simple things, but the way they present it, it's just, just makes them outstanding. If you go and watch Dhananjaya's speech, there was nothing. 3 stories from his life.
Absolutely, yeah.
But the one thing that caught the attention was, I see something in you, and I don't know what it is. And we still don't know what it is, right? Yeah, because that is how it is. And if you go back and watch Aaron Beverly's speech, look at the story. It's just simple Indian wedding.
Yes.
But when it came to the conclusion and the way he presented the message, it made a difference. So it's not just about the topic or message. Delivery plays, I think, the most important role in especially in international speech contests. We may call it drama, we may call it acting, whatever. But that is how it is.
I think what you just mentioned now, Nisha, is so, so true. Because I've heard this from my mentor, and I keep saying this to all the new Toastmasters, that a good script need not be a good speech. Everything is in the delivery. The script is there for you just to take you through that 5 to 7 minute speech, but everything is in that way you deliver that content. So I think this has stuck to my head, Your script can be the most simplest of everything, but how you bring that in front of your audience is all that matters.
Yeah. If there are a lot of people who actually, after this year's World Championship, asked me that, Nisha, you said, body language and voice, but Luisa won. Now, if you have not understood the strategy yet, then you are not a Toastmaster, I'm telling you, because that was the brilliant strategy Luisa had. Coming on the wheelchair. Now, how would you expect somebody who cannot walk to stand and do all those stunts and show us that, she met with an accident, the doctor did this? Nothing. She just sat on that wheelchair and she didn't even say it loudly that, see, I cannot walk. It was pretty clear.
Yes.
That was the beauty of that presentation, that without moving an inch, she conveyed the message there and there. That is what the presentation was. If you look at the speech, if you ask me to judge the speech on the judging criteria, there was nothing in the script.
Yes.
But she was different from all the other speakers. And that is what the beauty of that particular presentation is. And that is, Luisa has been a great speaker. I have watched her speeches before. But if you ask me what was so unique about that speech, the presentation.
So I hope Mukta has got an answer to her question about what is more important, message or delivery. Nisha would stress more on delivery. Your message is there
Yes.
loud and clear, but how you deliver it is what matters for the audience, at least, definitely. So, take it over. Your
Yeah.
next question.
Yeah. So Nisha, I'm going back to one of the answers that you already given. And like I said, I again struggle with a lot of things in public speaking, but one thing I really struggle is with feedback. So if let's say 4 or 5 people give me feedback, it could be contradictory to each other. I
Yeah.
am not sure which feedback to incorporate. How do I proceed? Or like for every level that I go, every person that gives a feedback, should I incorporate everything? And like you mentioned, that's not how it is. So what is your technique in incorporating feedback from the audience?
Yeah. So as I said earlier, at every level, what I do is I take 10, 12 questionnaires. Okay. And in those questionnaires, I have five questions that will always be there. So first thing would be, was my message clear to you? Because sometimes as a speaker, we think that the message is very, very clear, but it is clear in your head. But when we put it across, using certain words, people may get it in different ways. So the first question would always be, was my message clear to you? Number two, was the story interesting and engaging? Okay. Third is, did I use my voice properly? So was there proper pitch, pace, and pauses? Number four is, was the stage use effective? Number three is, did you find any value in my speech? Okay, so if these are the five main questions that I give, and then at the end I add, if there are any areas of improvement, please mention. And I give it to at least 10, 12 people. And then I collect everything, I come back and I just put it on my table and see, okay, so what is it? Now the trick here is, there will be a lot of people giving you a lot of feedback. You cannot take everything. So it's just 5 to 7 minute speech. Okay, so if you have to look at it and see that there are more than 5 people out of the 12 that are telling me the same thing. So there will be people who are saying that, the message was not clear to us. So if there are 6 people saying the same thing, which means there is a serious problem with the message. And that is how I incorporate feedback. So whenever you have a club contest, prepare a questionnaire based on what you want to know from the audience, give it to at least 10, 12 people, and get the feedback. And it can be an experienced one, a beginner, because he is also part of your audience. His voice also matters. Okay, so take the feedback and then Look at it and see what is that majority of people telling you, and work on it. And this should not stop at club level. Every level you have to do the same.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think this is a unique technique that you have told me today, because usually what I have done and what I've heard people do is record a video of the speeches and see where the audience laughs, doesn't laugh, or reacts in a way that I would want as a speaker for the audience to react. And I think the difference between the champions and maybe people who don't make it to that level is the little things that you have done, like the feedback and incorporating this feedback. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for that answer. I'll surely take this next time I give a speech. DTM Usha,
Thank
over
you.
to you.
Nisha, I know we are not giving you any breathing space, but there are so many questions that have come here.
No, that's okay. That's fine.
Every time you give us an answer, which I'm sure if the person who shared the question is here, I'm sure they'll definitely go back with a lot of learning. Now that you've gone on the World Championship of Public Speaking stage so many times, how do you structure your preparation timeline for the international speech contest? Like, when do you start your real preparation? As soon as you finish the district, do you change your speech topic, or do you continue with the same thing? And how do you structure that preparation? I'm going to the World Championship, that with that goal in mind.
Okay. And this is for everybody. Normally people ask me that how many speeches should we prepare? Is it one, two? And I always suggest that even if you have 2 or 3 speeches, it should be such that you have presented it somewhere, taken feedback and worked on it. It should not be, you should not be giving a surprise to your audience at the district level, coming up with a new speech. Okay, that's a huge risk that you're going to take. I have done that, and that's why I'm telling you. Because once in 2017, we used to have pre-finals and finals back in those days when we had too many countries in the district. So in the pre-finals, I presented a speech, I cleared the pre-finals, and I thought, okay, let me surprise my competitors. And at overnight, I wrote a speech. Nobody had heard it before. I never received a feedback on it. And I went and presented, and I lost. And that is why I'm saying, do not do that. You can go on with the same speech, modifying it at every level. Okay. Now, when it comes to until your division, it's okay. You can present the speech the way you want because you know the people. Now, here, Qatar is a place where it's the same people at every different level. I don't know how it works there in India, because you have to travel to different places and there will be different set of people. You have to look at your audience. So something that is very common to people in Pune may not be common to people in Chennai. Correct? So now you have to see, okay, I'm moving to my division level where I would find people coming from different parts of India. How will this message fit? How will they take this message? So the same thing happened when I presented this swipe speech at the division. There were a lot of things that are very common to people here in Qatar. So we are using currency as rial. Okay, we use certain terms because Feli was a Filipino, so we used a lot of Filipino terms and all. But when I reached district, I knew that the winning video will go for regional quarterfinals, where I have no idea where people would be coming from, whether people would understand Real or not, whether they will be offended by Real or not, right? There are people we don't know. Okay, so then we had to change Real into dollars and pounds. We removed the entire Filipino slang, because if I get a Filipino judge, he may get offended by the slang that I use. Okay, so these are those minute things that we took care of, because when it comes to global stage, you have to have a speech that is appropriate for the audience, both in terms of content and delivery, because certain gestures that work in the Middle East, we always do like this, may not work there, right? So we have to be very, very careful in terms of our content and our delivery, the kind of body language we have, and these things should be taken into consideration when you are preparing. Now, the preparation style or the timeline, see, I take a lot of time first in crafting the speech, because once that is set, the other part, it falls into place. So I take at least 4 to 5 months to first fix this, because our club contests start in January. So just now our area contest got over. So I have time. So from August till December or November end, I'm just writing the speech. And then the preparation starts. So earlier, I used to practice like too many times in a day. But now I have reduced because, I have throat issues. So I don't practice it much. But for the beginners, I would say at least 10 times a day you have to, because unless and until you internalize the speech, it will not look natural on the stage on the final day. And whenever you practice, keep this in mind, whenever you practice, you have to practice the same way you are going to deliver on the stage. Okay, don't be over smart, or don't think that, okay, you know what, I'm an experienced speaker, I will just improvise. You can improvise if you're really, really, really good at it. But on the final day, if you are trying to do something new there are chances you may forget your lines, or it may not sync with the speech properly. So the way you are planning to present it on that particular day, the same way you have to practice. And when I say practice, not just the lines, the pauses, the gestures, the eye contact, everything should be practiced the same way. And that is how I practice. And that is what I suggest all the other contestants and my students to practice this way.
Wow. Wow. It's not easy now, you realize, after so much of an hour and quarter of an hour. You said so many things that all those who are dreaming of reaching that stage, they have realized that it's not easy. Like, you just deliver your speech, even the number of times you practice, and you just said that you took 3-4 months, August to November, August, September, October. Now 4 months you took just to write your speech out and practice it, and how many times you must have gone through it, and so much of feedback you've taken. And that is what I call hard work, grit, and determination that you have. And continue with this, Nisha. It's beautiful to listen to, but I know what you're going through, because your goal is already fixed, World Championship of Public Speaking. Suhas, over to you now.
Yeah, thank you, DTM Usha. DTM Usha mentioned that we are not giving you a break. So let me take a break from the international speech contest and WCPS and ask you a different kind of a question, because like I mentioned, you also won at table topics at evaluation. And this is a question that quite a few people have asked us from the audience. And the question is, what is the best technique that you have found while facing table topics?
Okay. See, table topics can be anybody's game. It is on that particular day, on that moment, the kind of topic you get. Okay. And obviously, the table topic contest chair. That also depends if he is pronouncing the words correctly, and there is clarity in his voice and you understand what he's saying. The technique that I always use, and I always tell other contestants, by the way, this is my, after 10 long years, I took part in the table topic contest again. Again, I just wanted to challenge myself and see if I can present something in 2.5 minutes. So the only technique that I always follow is to start immediately with a story. Okay, immediately with a story, and then end it again with the conclusion connecting with that topic. And that's what I did at the club and the area level. And to be very honest, I had no idea how am I going to conclude it. But somehow, when you are speaking, your mind is also working along with you. So when you are speaking, you get an idea to how to connect it with the topic, and you will get there. That is my strategy of doing it, to start immediately with the story. Second thing, there are different methods that you can use. Okay, and I had already mentioned this before, that there is one method called Oreo method, which you can have your opinion first, then you give your reasons, then you back it up with a story, or an example, and then conclude it with your opinion as well. That is one method. Second method is comparing the things that were in the past. So if somebody asks you that, these days, artificial intelligence, how do you think artificial intelligence will take over human intelligence and all? So then you have to compare how things were in the past, how it is in the present, and how it can change in the future. So you can use this PPF method to do that. But again, every time you give your opinion, you have to back it up with an example. As somebody said that, your opinion does not matter, your example does. So examples are very, very important. Stick to the topic and share your examples. That is one method. Third is creativity method. So sometimes you get a topic which is imaginary, it's not real. If you get $100 million tomorrow, what will you do? Now you have to use your imagination, play with your creativity, and come up with something that where you can engage. Again, you can use a story and conclude with that particular topic. So these are different strategies that I use. But I since I love stories and I know how to write speeches, I every time there is a table topic, I start with a story and conclude with a message that people can carry with them. So that's a normal strategy that I use. It may work, it may not work. This time it worked, so I think I was lucky, and yeah. So this is one thing that I do.
So, I mean, I love the Oreo method. I think it's one of the most popular methods that we
Yeah.
use. I think most of the Toastmasters already do that, whether or not they know that they are using that method. But what if, and just something that struck my mind, nowadays table topic masters or the contest chair come up with idioms or phrases which probably you don't know the meaning of. Would you recommend the same method in that case?
In that case, see, not only these days, we have been seeing this for a long time. They use proverbs and idioms and famous quotes. Now there are people who might not be, familiar with those things. So in that case, you have to first listen to the contest chair and pick one word that catches your attention. So when I say, let's say that an idea can change your life. Now you got idea. Okay, try to build something across that particular word. Even if you have not understood or even if you're not familiar with that particular phrase, you can pick one word and create something out of it. Okay, if you are not aware what this particular quote means. Last, I think one day there was a topic that the usefulness of the cup lies in its emptiness. Tough topic.
Yeah.
Right? The usefulness of the cup lies in its emptiness. At least you heard cup, right? Now you have to build a story around it. If you do not understand what exactly this means, whatever you got from that particular line, just pick it, go ahead and talk about it. Do not stop, do not pause, do not look confused. That's the thing. Table topic is a very tricky game. Internationally is the easiest in my experience. Okay, so just pick one particular word and create a story around it.
Wow. Thank you. I mean, like you mentioned, table topics is really tricky, and understanding the topic itself, then coming up with a logical thought. And like you mentioned, you already mentioned that conclusion is something that is very important. So concluding with whatever you have started, so rounding it off, it's a tricky thing itself. And Oreo is obviously the best method. But this method, that if you don't know the topic, picking a word, I think that is something I've never done that in the past. If I ever get stuck next time, I'll definitely try to take it up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nisha. And back to you, DTM Usha.
Um, Nisha, before I move on to my question, what was that winning topic that you won in the area? What was the table topic that was given to you?
It was actually a very easy topic. And I think that's where, when you get topics like this, the judges, they get confused on who to pick because everybody, they have their own share of experiences and stories. And uh, coincidentally, it was the same topic at the club level also. So the topic was, if you get an opportunity to change something in this world, what would it be? What an easy topic, right?
So there is no control over what are the topics picked. Like in our district, when we give our results, to the district chief judge or something. We have to write the topic that was chosen.
No, I
about
think
this
I
topic.
think we do not I have not seen people following it here, and that's why when I went onto the stage and the contest chair read the topic again, I was like, okay, it was easy for me because we had the same topic at the club level, though I shared a different story both times. But yes, we do not, and that's a very good thing that you mentioned. I think I should pass it on to my district leaders. Otherwise, as you said, the topics will be repeated and it will be an advantage for somebody who has already done that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this topic is, now I can say, very easy it was.
Very easy.
All right. Now that he's finished with table topics, he's already gone into that. What is that one quality attribute a speaker should have?
Not just, okay, not just a contestant. Yeah, not just a contestant, but every
A
speaker.
speaker.
Yeah. The secret lies in the power of engaging your audience. And let me tell you, it's not your language, it's not your accent. How you engage your audience with your content and with your delivery. As I said, it is all about how you make your audience think, and that is how you engage them. The more you engage them, the more you can be a credible speaker, because people would love to listen to you, because I can keep you engaged throughout the speech, 5 to 7 minutes. Nobody is checking their phones, nobody is yawning, nobody is looking here and there. They are just listening to you, and that is the secret of a powerful speaker.
Wow. Now, there are questions from newcomers, new members who have asked some questions like, how do you keep an audience engaged for 45 minutes or say an hour if you're a keynote speaker? So I think this is the best answer anybody could have given them, is like the powerful impact or the topic that you choose and the way you present it to the audience, connect with the audience and keep them engaged. Because the minute you're the only one who's speaking, then that connect is lost at some given point. So the
Yeah,
minute
and yeah, sorry to interrupt. I'll just give you an example. 2 years ago, Mohammed Katani was here as a keynote speaker. He spoke for 1 hour, and we didn't even realize when 1 hour, just passed. So his speech topic was all about his struggles as a speaker and how he became the world champion. Okay.
Correct.
So now,
Yeah.
since it's Mohammed Katani, you can expect a lot of drama, a lot of humor. And that is how you need to engage them. And we didn't even pick our phone. And that is when I realized that, becoming a champion is not the thing. There should be something in you to keep these people engaged throughout. 1 hour is not easy.
Yeah, Mohammed Katani came to our district conference in Goa last year. And as soon as he walked on the stage, I thought he's going to be speaking about his winning speech. But no, he spoke about his journey in Toastmasters and all the club meeting roles that he took. And he did it so beautifully with subtle humor. And like you said, none of us even wanted to look at the phone for that hour and a half. So beautifully he put it. And I think that is the most important or a powerful attribute a speaker can have, keeping your
Nothing
audience
else.
with you.
Nothing else. There are people who always come and tell me that my language is not good. There are people who speak so eloquently. What should I do? I said these things do not matter as long as you know how to keep them engaged. And if you just go back and watch all these stand-up comedians, there are people who can't even uh, build a sentence, can't even form a sentence properly, grammatically correct, but still we just sit there and listen to them. And that is the power of a great speaker. And those who were there in the convention in the Bahamas, we had Lisa Nichols, right? Lisa Nichols. Yeah. And we were all so mesmerized. So that is how it is.
Thank you so much, Nisha, on that for that answer. Suhas, over to you.
Yeah. So Nisha, one thing that I think you're really passionate about is about helping or mentoring other Toastmasters and helping coach other Toastmasters, newer members especially. So my question, I have a couple of questions. So the first question is, how has being a mentor helped shape your growth in Toastmasters? And the second question is, what is the advice that you would give to someone who is a new mentor in Toastmasters?
Okay. Mentoring is different from coaching. Okay. So, as a mentor, you have to make sure that your mentee is on the right path, continuously working on himself or herself and doing a better job. Now, as a coach, I would only coach you for that particular period of time, and later on, if you want to come to me, it's okay. Otherwise, I may not be, that enthusiastic to know what you are doing and not. But mentor is not like that. Mentor has to be there throughout, and I have a mentor who has been there with me for the last 14 years now. 14 years. Why? Because he's a great mentor. Okay. So, as a mentor, when I started helping people, there are a lot of things that I learned. First, I learned that I'm a very harsh mentor. Okay. So, I don't give this whitewashed feedback, I don't use sugar coated words. But in that process, I learned that everybody is not thick skinned. This type of mentoring may not work with every single person. So when you have mentees of different caliber and different level of sensitivity, right, you have to work on yourself first as a mentor. That is one thing. Second thing is, uh, again, as a mentor, I will be competing with these people at one or the other level. So I have to make sure that my rivalry or my competition should not stop me from helping them in the right way. And I'll tell you, there are a lot of people who come to me when they are at the club level, area level. By the time they reach district, they stop coming because they feel that, oh, Nisha is also competing. Whether will she help me in the right way or will she, misguide me? It's a huge responsibility. And I have to tell them, don't worry, I will help you with everything that I know. And, to make you win, but at the same time I will work on my speech as well. So don't think that I will misguide you or something, but then people stop there. Okay. And then they later on they come back and say that, oh, we should have come to you and all those things. But it's a huge responsibility as a mentor, that first you have to establish your credibility as a speaker or as a mentor before you start mentoring people. And at the same time you have to understand that certain things may work with certain people but not with everybody. So you have to work on yourself first before you start mentoring such people. And again, your competitiveness, your rivalry should not stop you from helping people in the right way. That is the third thing that I learned as a mentor. And this is what I would like to suggest to all the new mentors who have taken up the role, that mentorship is a huge responsibility. You just cannot be a mentor 1 year and second year you decide that, okay, I'm not going to help this guy. No, it should be throughout. As long as that person is there in Toastmasters or coming to you, you have to do it throughout patiently. Very important, with patience, because there are mentees who would feel exhausted, who would feel tired, who would want to give up. Now it's your job as a mentor to tell them, no, let's try one more time, you can do it.
Wow. I think, absolutely fantastic answer. And with so many new Toastmasters coming, joining Toastmasters every year, every month, I think it's very critical for them to know how to become a good mentor, how to also be a good mentee before you become a good mentor, perhaps. So thank you so much for that fantastic answer. And I'll hand it back to DTM Usha.
Uh, Nisha, you have just spoken about mentoring and your journey or your outlook towards how mentoring should be done, how you were as a mentor. What has been your most rewarding experience or anything memorable in coaching Gaveliers? The reason I'm picking up this question is we have a lot of Gavaliers in Pune, not many clubs, but there is a lot of interest to start Gavel clubs in Pune. So, what has been your most rewarding experience or memorable experience in coaching Gavaliers?
It has always been rewarding when you coach these young students, because first of all, this new generation, they come up with so many brilliant ideas. You learn from them. Second thing is, the problem with this generation is they have ideas but they don't know how to communicate it properly, probably because they are always on these devices and everything. They hesitate to come in front of the audience and talk. Okay, so one rewarding experience that I had was that I could bring these kids out of their cocoon and make them stand in front of people and communicate and tell them, first thing, that you do not have to be afraid of people making fun of you because you are better than us. We come from an era where we did not have access to all these things, but you have, and we actually need your ideas. So when you put things like that into their mind, they feel confident. They feel that, okay, we are experts, so let me go and share my ideas with everybody. So this, and I have seen kids, who were very introvert, who were shy. Their parents would send them, literally push them into the Gavel Club and tell me that, Nisha, please take care of them there. But now they are slowly coming up and doing their presentations. And I had a bunch of kids who joined me for the World Scholars Cup competition. It was done in Baku, Azerbaijan. And they all did brilliant in the debate and writing. And when they sent me messages, they arranged a special meeting for me to, facilitate what I did for them. So that gave me a very, that I would say that I became a little arrogant there, and really proud of what I did, because it gives, when you see the result, it gives you immense pleasure. It's more exciting than winning that title, because you are helping somebody and you are literally seeing someone transforming from a very shy kid who would just sit there. And there were kids who actually used to feel anxious, so when their name was taken, they would start crying, they would not come on the stage. But now they have started coming on the stage. Even it's just one or two lines, they have started speaking, and they want to come, and they come and tell me, man, in the next meeting I would take up this role, or I would do this. So it gives you immense happiness to see that. And I feel that, okay, by another 10 years they would be able to live confidently, because this is one of the basic life skills that kids need, and they don't understand now, but later on they will. So I'm happy that I'm contributing, to something that where they will feel happy about it. At least they will remember me. Okay, and yeah, so that's the most rewarding experience I had.
Wow, wow, wow. Wonderful. To all the Toastmasters here who are already coordinators for Gavel clubs, and for those who are planning to start Gavel clubs, I think this is a beautiful way of motivating the Toastmasters to take a few Gaveliers under their wings and help motivate them to become better speakers and to come out of that comfort zone of theirs. Thank you for that answer. I'd like Suhas to take over, please, for your next question.
Yeah. So Nisha, I'll go back for a question to the ISC or any of the contest questions again. And this is a question from Toastmaster Ritish. So his question is, what is the best approach to time your speech? When you're practicing a speech, what is the best approach?
Okay, it is not when you're practicing the speech you time it. You have to do it before. So I have said this n number of times in my modules, that when you have 7 minutes, okay, so for a 7-minute speech, first you have to look at the word count. So when you have a 7-minute speech, the word count should be somewhere between 500 to 550 words only. So when you have 550 words in your speech, in your content, you can take another 30 seconds or 1 minute to take pauses at the right place. Because as a speaker, as a storyteller, as a contestant, we think that everything is important in my speech. I want to tell about my childhood, my adulthood, and everything. It's important to you. It's not important to your audience. They just want to understand what problem you are addressing. How did you overcome this challenge? And what can I do? Or can I do the same as you did? That's the only thing they want to know. They don't want to know the extra information from your life. No. Okay. So you have to reduce the word count and bring it to somewhere between 500 and 550 words so that you can take right pauses at the right places and finish on time. This is the strategy. It's not about practicing. First, you have to fix the content and the word count. Once it is done, then you go ahead and practice. Then you will see that, oh wow, since my word count is reduced, how can I take proper pauses and how long should I pause? So there are different types of pauses. So you can concentrate on a short pause and a long pause. You can time the pauses 3 seconds, 5 seconds, and then you will see you are automatically finishing your speech. By 7 minutes, your speech would be done. So this is the strategy. This is the strategy that you must follow. That first you work on the word count and then incorporate pauses, and then you see how you are finishing on time, and it will automatically happen. You have to worry about your timing during when you are practicing.
So, what is your technique? As in, you mentioned 550 words, for example. Do you write a longer speech and then trim down the fat, or do you write a
Yeah.
smaller speech and then you add more?
No. The speech writing process, I have done this before. Speech writing process starts with the story. Okay, it doesn't start with the introduction or conclusion. So let's say that you have a story in in your mind. So I had this story, the airport story. What I did was I wrote down the story first. Every single thing that happened. Okay. Now, after writing that story, I have to first ask myself, what is the problem I'm addressing in this story? So, what is the conflict in my story? So, the conflict in my story was I was hesitant to help this lady. I didn't want to help. And that is how most of the people are. If when a stranger comes in, the first thing that comes to their mind, should I help this person or not? Okay, so everybody can connect with that conflict. Then I have to look at the solution. What is the solution to this particular problem? So the solution is, do not worry about the consequences or do not expect anything in return. Whatever you have, just help the other person who is in need. So solution. I got the solution. Now I have to show the audience how I changed. So these are the three things that I look into when I finish writing my story, that there is a problem, there is a solution, and there is a transformation that happened in me. So when I look into these things, then I start removing the extra things that are not required in the story. So once these three things are set, okay, the story is half set. Then I have to look at building the character. So this Feli, I have to now build her up. Okay, so she was kind, she was poor, she was short. So her physical description, her personality, people should understand what kind of a person she was. So building the character. Then I have to look into putting in dialogues to make the story interesting. Okay, so there were certain dialogues. Now, again, when you are writing a speech, make sure that there are only 2-3 dialogues. Okay, not more than 3 or 4 dialogues, because otherwise it will look like a drama. Okay, so add dialogues. And adding dialogues is where you can, have emotions, you have drama, you have humor. You can add a funny dialogue, you can add a sad dialogue. So then I work on the dialogue part. So when I do these things, all the extra things are slowly removed from the story, and I get a story which is like 300 or 350 words, or let's say 400 words. Then I look at the message, and based on the message, I write the introduction and the conclusion. And with every feedback, I keep modifying it. People would say that, okay, Nisha, this is not adding any value to the speech. Okay, remove it. And you have to brutally remove a lot of things. Okay, because something you would say, oh my God, this is so close to my heart. I want to tell this to the audience. No, the audience, they don't want to listen to this thing. Remove it. That's it.
I
So
think you
that's how it
summarized it.
was.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying, I think you summarized it perfectly, because I write something, I don't know, I think of something smart in my story, and then, or a joke, and then someone tells me it's not adding value, remove it. And I'm like, oh, it's so close to my heart. How can I remove this?
Amen.
But yeah, thank you so much for the in-depth answer, Nisha, and back to DTM Usha.
Ma'am, you're on
You're
mute.
on mute,
Usha,
Usha.
ma'am, you're on mute.
I'd just like to go back to the point that you spoke about, dialogues and emotions and all. How much of effort did you put into working on vocal variety? This is a question from a Toastmaster Kiran from Pimpri Toastmasters. And he says, how much of efforts you had to put into that? Did you have to really work on vocal variety or it just came to you naturally?
No, yeah. Okay. So as I said that I learned it, in all these years I learned it, and I understood that vocal variety is not a difficult thing. People have actually made it difficult. People talk a lot about voice modulation when they actually do not know what exactly is voice modulation. Your evaluators will always come and say, oh, you could have modulated your voice. How? They don't tell you. Bringing vocal variety, it's very, very easy as long as you understand the emotions in the story, emotions in the words. And this should be taught at school level, because when kids are reading, they just read it like that. They don't read it with the correct emotional stress on that particular word. So when I say that, oh, I'm so excited to be here, now you should feel that excitement in my voice. And to feel that, you should first understand that excitement means a slightly higher level of happiness. So I can say, I'm happy to be here. I'm so excited. There is a difference. Okay. So when the moment you start understanding the emotions in the word, this vocal variety, it would become easy for you. You do not have to stress or work on it. All you need to do is you understand that, okay, this particular word carries this particular emotion. Now, according to that emotion, I will change my facial expression and it will automatically come in my voice. So I come here and I smile, I raise my eyebrows and I say, I'm so excited. It will automatically come. I don't have to put a lot of efforts in that. But for that, you have to understand that every word carries an emotion. And I should be able to carry it on my face and in my voice. So this is the technique. No other technique is there. Yeah.
Thank you so much for this. And I think even as we speak, now I think every time I speak, if I'm sad, I can't even say, yeah, I'm sad with a smiling face. But that was so beautifully put. And many of us struggle how to use voice modulation. Am I overdoing it? Am I perfect in the way I'm speaking? Or, should I be working on this? Well, I think we are coming to the end of our segment today here. And can I conclude, Suhas, with the question?
Yes, Usha, ma'am.
Did you join Toastmasters, Nisha?
When did I join Toastmasters?
Yeah.
2007.
2007. I'm taking you back to 2007. You're a beginner Toastmaster. What would be that one advice you'd like to give yourself as a new Toastmaster? You've just joined the program. What would be that question? Answer, sorry, that advice.
Okay. I was a new Toastmaster. I was never a new speaker. Okay. And I had always been a good speaker, a good debater back in my school and college days. So when I came here and joined Toastmaster, I carried that on my head. Okay. I always thought that I'm the best. And so now if I go back, I would like to tell myself to keep that thing aside. As you know, whenever you are entering a new organization or a new institute or anywhere, you have to empty your cup and go. That is the only way to learn new things. So since I carried this huge thing on my head and I went inside saying that I'm the best, and the very first year I lost at the area contest, I came second, and that was the time only the first place winner could go to the division. My ego got shattered. I was like, how could it happen? Okay, because I have always been the best speaker. And every year I lost. Okay, I went up to the district contest, I lost. And every failure made me humble. I realized that, Nisha, you are not the best, but you have to learn from the best to become better. And, earlier I used to hate all these winners. I used to think that how could he win? How judges are, they are not giving me scores and all that. We all have done that. I've been there. Okay. So, but when I came back and when I reflected on those speeches and I realized, oh my God, yeah, that speech really had something. That speaker really had something. So, but what did they have? Now, as they say that if you can't beat them, join them. Okay, so I went, I spoke with them, I learned from them, I saw that, okay, what are they doing differently that I can also do? So I learned from all these champions, incorporated everything that they did, and that is when actually I started winning. I started winning at the district level, starting from 2019. I am competing since 2011. So it took me 8 long years to learn that I'm not the best. I still have something to work on and polish myself. And that is why even after winning or even after winning the world championship, I keep myself grounded because I always know that there is somebody who's better than me. And as a champion, it's a huge responsibility on my shoulders to keep that mark. Okay, because everybody has expectations at the same time, not to underestimate somebody who's just at the beginner level. So, and that makes me work even more harder because, see, I'm not going to get a wild card entry, right? Just because I'm a champion. I have to fight at every level. And if I have to fight, I have to work hard, probably harder than, other people. So this is what I want to tell my younger self, that just be grounded. There are a lot of people around you from whom you can learn and grow. It took me 8 long years, but I can just give you like this, that all the new beginners, you might be the best in your organization, you might be the best in your school or college, but when you are joining a new organization, empty your cup and get in.
Wow. Coming from you, Nisha, I think there's so much of depth in this statement that you just made. Empty that cup, and like I was told uh, when I joined Toastmasters, Nagbush and Balaji, and he
Yeah.
said that when you walk into a Toastmasters meeting, leave everything else outside. Just walk in saying that I don't know anything and I'm here to learn.
Yeah.
I think that stuck with me. And for all the new Toastmasters here who are just joined, who have joined the program and who are, they must have joined with some other intent, but your intent was totally different. I think right from the time you joined, you said, that is my goal, and you started competing.
Yeah.
So I wish you all the very best in the upcoming World Championship. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you on that stage and carrying that glass trophy. So
Thank
thank you
you so
so
much.
much for this. Almost 2 hours, an hour and a half, we've been talking here. And I wish it could just go on. But because there's so much of learning, so much of experience that you've shared with us in this hour and a half. And I'm sure every single person who's sitting here today is going back a lot of learning from you. And I'm sure Suhas would also like to say something on this. Go
Yeah,
ahead, Suhas.
I will just like to echo what DTM Usha mentioned, that it's been such a lovely hour and a half just listening to Nisha. And like she mentioned, we could have go on until the end of the day and we could still keep on listening to you. That's so much of knowledge from you. And I also wish you all the best for your contest. Hopefully,
Thank you so
you
much.
will see me also as a co-contestant at the international
Don't
stage,
share anything with
maybe.
him anymore.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, I wish you all the best and hope to see you with winning the championship.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity because I loved interacting with everybody and I hope that I answered almost all the questions. But if you still have queries, my phone number is there with DT Musha and Toastmaster Suhas. You can always contact me. Any help for your speeches? just let me know. I'm free till 11th April, so you can disturb me, no issues.
So generous of you, Nisha. Thank you so much. And I'd like to hand over to our Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Tanvi. Over to you, Tanvi.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Usha. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nisha, for this wonderful, wonderful session. Like you said, that your speech should make people think, and I'm sure that each one of us is now going to go back and think about all of the points that you have mentioned, and it's really going to help us all in our journey. Thank you once again for such a wonderful session. With that, I would now like to hand over to our district director, Distinguished Toastmaster Milind Patwardhan, to give the closing address.
Thank you. Thank you, Tanvi. Thank you, Usha, Suhas, and a big round of applause once again to Nisha. This is the fourth time that I am meeting Nisha, and I am now trying to recall the every meeting that I had. Nisha will not remember it. And Nisha, I first met you at Nashville when you were in the semi-finals. And that time I just shook hands with you, and I know because to see a lady from India performing on that stage was so very overwhelming to me itself. That was our first encounter, and we just spoke a few niceties, and then you moved on. Our second meeting happened after you came on the stage and you came second at Bahamas. And that time after you came off the stage and before you went on to for the three of you sitting on the stage and going through that interview, and after that I met you. The third time I met was at Bahama Airport. I think you were also flying to Miami and I was also flying to Miami. And so I think our flights were not the same, but there was a long queue, and that is when we interacted. And I am telling you that this fourth encounter has been a very different kind of an experience to me, because those three encounters I found to be you to be a very quiet, silent, a very, very simplistic kind of a lady. But today I saw the teacher in you or the mentor in you come out and really share your wonderful journey, your wonderful experiences, your trials, your tribulations, the way you have evolved over the 17 years as a Toastmaster. And this has been a very, very gratifying experience for me, Nisha, personally, to see you, sharing your experiences with our district on behalf of District 125 and a few more district whose members are sitting over here. My senior colleagues over here, Distinguished Toastmaster Mukta, Distinguished Toastmaster Shirish is here, Distinguished Toastmaster Mayank is here, and so many of my area directors, division directors, club growth director, PQD is here. On behalf of all of us from the bottom of our hearts, I would like to thank you. And now I am looking forward to meeting you for the fifth time, and you know where, right? In Philadelphia. So wish you the very best in your journey over the next 2-3 months. Our best wishes will be there, even if Suhas is going to be competing with you. I am sure he is going to, look forward to have a competitor like you on that big stage. And so am I. Thank you very much, Nisha, for this, and wish you the very best. God bless you. Thank you. I think we can stop the recording, and